This is Doug, and welcome to another episode of the Practicing Accountant podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about networking, big surprise, but a little bit different than we normally do. We've talked about networking to get new clients. We've talked about networking with CPAs to get new clients. We've talked about niche working, where we're going after our niche. Well, I'm going to go back to networking with CPAs today, but maybe in a little bit different context than you'd normally heard. Hope you enjoy this episode. Tis the season, man. Just like you said a few minutes ago, it's the season for time off, right?
Yep.
Season to relax a little, time to get the lights out,
For
time to
colds.
colds, right? To get
Yep.
sick, just in time for when you really don't want to be sick.
Yeah.
It's kind
True.
of like a vacation. Well, it is a vacation. I mean, like it's like when do you not want to get sick? Friday.
Yeah.
When you want to get sick? Monday. But tis the season. We've turned our house into a Clark Griswold honoring mecca of light. We're not going to enter any competitions and win or anything, but we did win. We do win the block, at least the block competition on best house
Nice.
for Christmas, which is just kind of ironic because we don't have like parties or anything. It's not like we're inviting people into the house very often, but we probably should.
Yeah.
We talked
Yep.
about charging because I've got this Lego village that I've collected over, I don't know, decades maybe, and it's all these little Lego houses, and one's like an elf house, and then there's
Right.
like a ski chalet, and then there's like a Santa's workshop, and so they're different every year. You buy new ones, and so I've collected them and built them, and we put them all out, and they're on the dining room table currently. My wife's chagrin, and I'm thinking about charging the neighbor kids, to like little ones, to like $5 to come in. You can check out the Lego village. I'll give you some hot chocolate and get out and start monetizing this.
There you go. I like it. I
That could be
uh
my passive income maker.
I live in the country, so I don't really decorate my house because no one. I'm
I
not,
know we've talked. You're
totally
Scrooge.
isolated, but
You're Scrooge.
um, there's nobody to show the outside of the house.
Well, there's a
So,
little one running around
oh,
that is
the inside's all
okay.
decked
All
out.
right, so
Oh
the
yeah,
inside's good. All right.
oh yeah. We decorated early November. You know that
Yeah.
about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see my Santa up here?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
got to see you
Festive.
Santa up there. Yeah. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about networking with accountants. That's what I want to hit. I'm going to come right out with it. Um, we've talked about this before. We've talked about, one way to get great clients is to network with other accountants that may be saying no to work that you would say yes to. We've talked about co-firming, where you might provide a service that another CPA or bookkeeper or accountant doesn't provide, and the two of you together, you could be sharing some work that you do, either clients or opportunities or whatever. We talked about that. And the other thing that we haven't necessarily talked about too much is how lonely it can be as a bookkeeper on your own or as a
Mm,
tax preparer on your own. It can be really lonely,
that's a good point.
and you're going through this business on your own without any support. And I've got clients that have shared with me one of the reasons why they let me into their businesses and lives is because I've become kind of like this silent partner, not so silent partner, I guess, not so silent night, not so silent partner, and support them and what they're doing, and it gives them someone that they can talk to and be with. And yes, they pay me, so I don't get an equity stake, although maybe I should.
Mm,
But I'm able to help them in their businesses, and so it's lonely. But another reason is that I think it's important for CPAs, bookkeepers, tax preparers to be networking together is how much you can learn from each other.
yeah.
I talked to a client today, and this individual is trying to find a new resource to bring into his firm. And I mentioned something that I've known about for a decade, and he had no idea it existed. And it's a recruiting tool that's out there that you only pay 2 to 5% salary instead of 20 to 25% that a recruiter normally would charge. And it's basically almost like free, and you get access to like 11,000 accountants in the country by signing up for this thing.
Well,
And this individual just didn't know about it. And the only reason I know about it is because I network with accountants all the time.
right.
And when it comes to things like software, best practices, how to deal with, insurance, how to deal with certain client issues, how to deal with some of the new things that pop up that we get regulated on, like accountants should be networking with accountants. And competition exists, certainly, But at the same time, there's an abundance of clients out there that will need accountants, and there's no reason to isolate yourself from other accountants because of competition.
Yep, I agree.
There's two groups I'm a part of. One's through a state society, and we've formed what's called the Independent Accountants Alliance. And with that committee, we're able to bring together independent accountants. These are CPAs for the most part. And we just talk about things that are important to them, like which software do you pick? How do I deal with this new information about FinCEN that came out here a couple of days ago? How do we deal with these new tax laws? What's a good insurance provider? I've learned about this new email organization tool that has changed my life. What do we do with AI? And these are folks that have an office on this side of the street, and this one's got an office on the other side of the street, and they come together and they talk about these things, and they help each other,
Right.
and they support each other. And it's not just about client sharing or co-farming. It's about just supporting one another in their businesses to be better. And I think it's an important thing. What was the other one? Oh, there's another networking group that I'm a part of, and it's probably 50, maybe 60 now individuals that they meet once a quarter. We pay $20, which basically covers lunch. And we talk about what's going on in business and what we're facing and seeing and experiencing. And if new work pops up that they don't have room for, they share it with each other. If they have a question about something they get stuck on, they ask each other, and they become more powerful for it.
Yep.
So, because networking is something that you and I talk about repeatedly on this channel, and encourage any listener or anyone to do, is to network. One of the safest ways to do it is with your kind. So reach out to more accountants. Start relationship with the team across the street. Take that managing partner or owner out for a beer or for a lunch or for a coffee. Talk about your businesses. Learn from each other. Find out ways in which you're being efficient and effective in your businesses, where you're getting clients from, what you found that's successful and what isn't. It's easy to do, but what we have to let go of is that competition mindset that, I shouldn't be hanging out with the quote unquote enemy. That's not the truth. There's too many clients out there that need bookkeeping and tax prep work for that to even be the case. And there's not enough accountants for that to be the case.
To make this easier, don't be a generalist.
Yeah, right.
If you have one service or 5 services and not all of them, find a firm that has the complementary services to you, and that's an easier conversation. Mm-hmm. And that's where we get the bulk of our clients. I mean, 95% of our clients come from co-firming.
Seriously? That's
easy.
Crazy.
We have a constant inflow from other firms that are referring to us. Through that, they spend money on advertising, and we pay them a referral fee. And for those clients that they can't serve in that way, and it works for both parties, and it's a constant.
It is interesting. Like, I know pretty much. There might be. I'm sure there's a couple I don't, but I pretty much know every coach in the country that focuses on accountants. Like, I've talked to them, I've met with them. Mm-hmm. And I've shared clients with them.
Right.
Like, there's sometimes when, they don't want a man, they would prefer a female to be their coach. And so guess what? I need to have a female coach that works with accountants. And I've got 2 or 3. And they're not local. One's in Texas, one's in California, the other's in Chicago. And I know that when I get over my capacity, I know where to go. I go to my coach, and I go to another coach out there that I share a lot of values with. So, it's easy for me to network with the people I know do the same thing that I do,
right?
As well as that gigantic pool of coaches out there who say they can serve anybody, which I still think is bullshit.
Right.
And tell them that, hey, if you come across an accountant or a CPA or a tax preparer that needs a coach, I'm your guy. Now, the problem with coaches is they're not as sharing as accountants are. They think they can do anything, which, guess what? There's a lot of accountants out there that think the same way, right?
Yeah.
So to your point, I think it's a very good point you make. Like, the better off you know your niche, the clearer you can define it and speak to it, It really helps in these conversations to be like, hey, I want to sit down and talk to you about how you're doing it. I don't do 90% of what you do. There's 10% that we might share some clients in, but like 100% of what I do is whatever. It's dentists.
Yep.
And so if you come across a dentist, like I'd love if you sent it my way. Like that's a pretty simple conversation. It's safe.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you can monetize it too. I don't know. Do you know accountants that charge referral fees?
We set that up with our referring accountants just because they spend money on ads, and to recoup the cost and to incentivize them to send clients our way, we send them, a portion, a small amount for each client.
Yeah, you don't have to say, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that should be done like with some excitement. Like
why not? Yeah.
Like, hey, here's 10% of the first year's revenue. Thanks for sending me that client.
Yep.
And or I mean, there's some crazy referral structures out there, but fee structures, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just 10% of the first year's revenue, or 10% of life revenue, or $500 per actual client that I get.
And maybe instead of throwing money at Facebook ads if you have no idea what you're doing, set something up like this that is guaranteed to bring you clients, and you only pay when you get that client.
Right.
That's a sure way to know that what you're paying for is getting you results.
But when you're talking to those other accountants, and when they think about a new client that comes into them that maybe they have capacity for, maybe they don't, they're going to go into a mindset of, well, I might as well take it because it's free money, right?
Right.
Well, now they can say, well, I can just pass it along and still get free money out of it without killing myself and my team.
Yep.
So, this could create revenue both for you and whoever you meet with. So at the end of the day, in the season of giving and also the season of being grateful, I think, my homework for our listeners is to make a list of accountants near you that you'd like to connect with and not be so lonely, and share some best practices, maybe share some clients, maybe share some fees, and help everyone along the way, yourself included.
Yep. Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
That's all I got.
See ya.
Cheers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Practicing Accountant Podcast. I hope that from it, you reach out to some of your brethren, some of those other accountants, tax preparers, CPAs out there, and connect and share and talk about your struggles, talk about your clients, create opportunities to co-firm or to share work or to share referral fees to help you each in your pursuit of having a successful business. I hope you do. Thanks for watching this episode. Please share and like it. We hope you stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please visit us at www.thepracticingaccountant.com, and cheers.